What it is, you guys, it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the drama like prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, girl, to see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Guys, I am coming through today on July the 26th, 2023, right? Just got off my work shift just for a break, which being at home is basically just a break from work. I do remember one time when I was getting off of work and I was about to clock out, and one of the managers was like, "Oh, you're going to lunch?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm going to visit my home." Because many times it feels like you live at that job and you visit your home. You visit your home and your family. But for most of the good waking hours, the best energetic hours where you have the most energy, where you have the most blood flowing, for me, with my little corporal tonal hands, most of my hands power, everything is going into the job. And then I come home, whatever little energy I have left, with whatever little ability I have left in my hands and fingers and all of that. That's what I use on everything else. So that's what we were talking about yesterday when the phone just cut off, right? I was talking about the mental escape game. So for me, just like I said in the last video, I'm likening getting out of the rat race to a mental escape game. How do you get out of this space? You're usually in an escape game, you're in some enclosed space, and you have to use a lot of your logic, a lot of your creativity. You have to use brain power. You have to think outside of the box, basically, to get out of the box, right? And that my hair keeps snagging on the top of this umbrella. It's raining, so it ain't raining men though, but it's raining, and I'm trying to just walk. I still want to get my little walk. I love walking. It is what centers me. So when I first got off of work, it was pouring down. So I came home, took me a shower because after getting off of work, I have a headache due to, I have all those issues. I have the 3 herniated discs in my neck, the pinched nerves and all of that. So after being at work on a stressful day, that tends to flare up and I get a lot of headaches. I can almost deal with anything but a headache. I hate a headache because it's very hard for me to focus. But yeah, so that's the whole synopsis or whatever. And basically, it is almost 8. So by the time I am done with recording this video, it is going to be just about 9 o'clock, right? And by the time I do one or two little things, I plan on kind of working on my channel a little bit, putting some of my videos into playlists. And once I do that, by the time you even look up, when you get into any type of project or any thing that you're working on, by the time you get good and into it, hours have went by. Though it probably feels like a few minutes, hours have went by. And it's time to go to sleep and get ready for the next day of, guess what? Work. Work to live and I live to work. I hustle hard until it hurts. I work my fingers all the way to the bone. Girl, where did that extra syllable come from? Work my fingers down to the bone. And once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. The sky looks so brilliant right now. It has all these shades of gold and yellow, but it really doesn't look like that on the recording. I can't take my little snapshots because I'm recording at the moment, but breathtaking. It's just so magnificent. Look at that way it comes around to the clouds. Wow. To start doing some of my sunset photography with the actual camera. I might need to go home, pause this, and go get my camera real quick. But then I know it ain't charged up, so it ain't gonna do no good. But this is so beautiful. But that's how beautiful it is after the storm, after the rain, right? But yeah, so that rat race, how to escape the rat race, girl, I can't tell you. You know how you go through a escape room and then you could tell the next person how to go through it. Let's say you and a group of friends, they already at the end of the escape room, they tell you how to get out. That part. And then you're like, oh, I should have thought of that. Or you'd be like, oh, I started to do that, but I just didn't know that actually was a clue. That was a way out. And oh man, you were right on. Like, what if that happened? If we actually get out that escape game, or somebody gets out of the rat race and they could tell you exactly how to get out of it. Girl, wouldn't that be awesome, right? I wouldn't be racking my brain right now. But yeah, so it's a continuous cycle. Just like I said, my definition of the rat race is a continuous cycle that keeps you basically on a continuum. It gives you just enough to survive, and when you get just enough to survive, you gotta come back, like for real. Like, people know that is the way to get people to come back. Even our YouTube gurus do that, right? They don't give you all the good stuff in the video. They give you snips and pieces, and then they have you buy their course. The course has the main menu, right? So that's when you're going to come back. You only give them just enough to come back. Keep them coming back. If you give them everything, they will not come back. So if we actually made a living wage, if we actually made enough to save for the future, if we made enough to make ends meet, plus had a little bit left over, would you keep coming back? And that's where my last video ended, where I was saying that, hey, if I literally did not have to pay bills to eat and to keep a roof over my head, I wouldn't have went to work. Not the way my sciatica hurting, not the way my head hurting today. Yesterday was my sciatica, which kind of is still tight. But my head is on fire. You think I would have been at anybody's job? I would have stayed home. I would have been working on either my videos, or I would have been drawing on, catching up on my artwork, right? Using my God-given gifts. That is why I try so hard to. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I would have been doing so much else. Like my granddaughter, I would have spent some time with her. My daughter, you know how much we give up to go to work? And I just watched this video on Africa diaspora where it was these guys, these truck drivers in Florida, my state of Florida, right? That they, oh my God, that's beautiful. I got to figure out how to take these pictures before it completely goes dead. If you could see this image right here, girl. You know what? I am so sorry, but I'm going to have to stop this video because this is so beautiful. And by the time I go home, get some other device to take a picture on, it's going to be dark. Like, God paints these pictures every night, but they're only for a limited time. Right? All right. It's your girl, Cadillac. Meet you in a couple seconds where we will finish this discussion.